And it's Vikings we're talking about today. Professor Stephen Harding met me at the very peaceful, tranquil setting of Brackenwood Golf Club. But fair to say, it hasn't always been like that.
About 1,000 years ago, 1,100 years ago, this was a site of carnage, really, because we think this is the main fighting area of the famous Battle of Brunanburh, which was fought in the year 937. It came about really with a disagreement between the King of the Scots, King Constantine, and the King of the Anglo-Saxons, King Athelstan. Athelstan had declared himself the King of whole Britain, Rex Britannicus, and of course the Scots didn't like this, so it ended up as a showdown, and we believe, I think most experts believe it took place here. Really? Brunanburh is the old name for Bromborough, and the Vikings of course took part as well. We have the basically a wave of Vikings coming over from Ireland, and just to confuse things, they fought on the Scots side, but we have reports of another set of Vikings from Iceland fighting on the English side. The result was an enormous scrap. But the interesting thing, though, is that experts have debated where this great battle took place, and I blame the forerunner of a Wirral Council for this, because someone in 1732, if Wirral Council existed, changed the name of Brunanburh to Bromborough, and that confused everybody. So now everyone's debating where sort of Brunanburh was. Yeah, but really it was 99% sure it was here.
How would that have come about? I mean, that would take a lot of organising, I'm sure, to get all the bodies of people together.
Indeed, yes. Obviously they would need to know where to fight. There's no point turning up somewhere if the opposition forces are somewhere else. So an agreement would have been made where the fighting spot would be. And if you think about it, this is sort of central from the Scots coming from the north, and the English forces coming from Wessex, Viking forces coming from Ireland. Okay, the Icelanders would have to travel a bit, but they had their Viking ships and they would have got here. Okay, so it would be a sensible location for the battle site.
How long would it have lasted for?
Well, the Anglo-Saxon poem about the battle tell us it ran for the whole course of the day, and it involved thousands of people, so a lot of people got killed on both sides, which begs the question what the local population would have done, because 30 years earlier there was a big wave of Vikings who came to the area, but these were friendly Vikings that came under agreement with the English Queen Ethelfled, and they integrated with the local community. So yeah, we wonder what they got up to, whether they joined sides, or if they had any sense, they would have kept their heads down and waited for all the carnage to be finished, and then come out again. And we think that's what they did, because of all the evidence, we know that the Viking community survived here. Beyond that, from all the place names, the DNA work that was recently done confirming that there is a substantial presence of Scandinavian genes in the old population in the area.
How long did it take for the area to recover, do we know? I mean, that's a massive thing to happen, and a loss of life, a massive loss of life.
Absolutely, yes. It was absolute carnage. We knew that the new raiders coming from Ireland, the new Viking raiders, many of them escaped from a place called Dingersmere. The Anglo-Saxon poem has this Dingersmere, and Dingersmere, we worked out that meant as the Thingsmere, the waterway of the Thing, and the Thing was the Thing Wall, was the assembly point where the local Viking population had their meeting sense of Scandinavian power. Just to rub it in, the Anglo-Saxon poem says they escaped from Dingersmere. So yeah, it would have taken quite a while to recover, but battles were happening all over the show in medieval times, and the people were sort of very workmanlike. They would get back to life as soon as possible.
Well, the poetry you refer to, where's it from?
It's a famous Anglo-Saxon poem called the Battle of Brunanburh. It's very much Anglo-Saxon propaganda. Here, King Athelstan, patron of heroes, this sort of stuff. So a very rousing sort of thing for the Anglo-Saxons. But in reality, I think both sides, both the Anglo-Saxons and the Scots and the Vikings, lost a lot of people. It was and nothing really was decided, because in 2 years' time the Vikings were fighting again. So it's I think so.
A fascinating story, and you stand here today and you think, what? Here? Never.
Yes, that's right. This serenity, the golfers as a vehicle cutting the grass down there, you never have believed it.
What a story.
Yeah.
Stephen, always a pleasure. Great to see you again.
It's a pleasure, Sean. Thank you.
Do you know what, I love going out with Stephen. So interesting, the stuff he knows about the area and the Viking battles and all this, that and the other, and it really is intriguing. There's plenty more to come from Professor Stephen Harding on the programme over the coming weeks.